What is up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Marshana Dahlia. We have a brand new season of 90 Day Fiance. Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 1. We are meeting the rest of the couples. So Caleb and Alina. So we meet Caleb, and he is from Chandler, Arizona, and he's a world traveler. He has lived all over the world, and he is talking with a girl, Alina, that he actually met online when he was a teenager. Well, okay, Caleb is 28, Alina's 27. I left that out. So he met her 13 years ago, and then they lost touch and then got back in touch with each other. And now they're going to be traveling to Turkey for 2 weeks to see each other due to COVID restrictions. He can't go to where she actually is, St. Petersburg, Russia. So Alina is a little person. So this is an interesting thing because he said that he's never dated a little person before and he's unaware of the different types of needs and help that she might want. And then when she brought it up to him, he seemed a little concerned about having to go out of his way to do things for her, which was a little concerning for me because they've known each other for 13 years. And I'm positive that she has brought up in the past different struggles that she might have had to go through. And it makes you wonder, was he just not attentive or listening, or did he just not care? And then when he met her in the preview for next week, he said, "You're smaller than I thought you were." And these are all red flags. And I'm really worried because I feel like he's not all in to date someone who has a disability, because you have to really be attentive and caring and understanding of that situation.
You know, the interesting thing for me with this couple, and the biggest takeaway was Alina. Wow. You know, I really watched her and I was in awe of her last on Sunday night because I was like, this woman is out here. She is doing things, you know. She is not letting things get in her way. The fact that she's driving for herself and she's in a band and she's singing and she's dating and she's meeting people and she's modeling, to me is just so like incredible, and I'm happy for her. And she's living on her own, albeit with, you know, roommates. But a lot of people, if they had that kind of disability, or I don't even know if disability is the appropriate word here, but if other people had the same diagnosis that she has, I don't know if they would really approach life like that. And that she's not living at home with mommy and daddy still, so that's great. The biggest takeaway from me, and what's this guy's name? Caleb? Is that his name?
Caleb.
Okay. I'm over him already, and the reason why is there was a lot of things, but the pain point for me was when she told him, like, "Hey, listen, my parents are concerned. I've never met you in person. You're somebody I met from the internet. Elijah's gonna come with me," and Elijah's the roommate that she already lives with, so it's not like Elijah's a boyfriend or a romantic interest or something like that. And he was just like, "I'll help you. I'll do this," and it's like, will you? I didn't like that he didn't understand, ladies. Gentlemen, whoever you are, if you're dating somebody and you're getting or potentially getting into a relationship with someone and they don't understand your need to feel safe and to feel secure, it's a red flag. I don't like that he's just so ready to just be like, no, don't bring somebody. I think the right man for her would be like, oh no, I totally get it. Yeah, Elijah, he's living right. It'll be fine. It'll be cool. That's a real red flag for me. Other than the point that some people will argue that he's with Alina or wants to be with Alina because he has a fetish, I've always noticed people in this life who are the meditate, chanting, crystals, mantra, energy people are the most toxic. I said what I said.
Really?
Oh, those people? In my experience, you know, I don't know anything about life and I don't know anything about your life, but in my experience, those metaverse, oh my God, I zen and I met, they are the, remember, what's his name? What's his name with the eyes? He was just like this. The Australian dude. Oh my God.
Ash.
Ash was the same way. Oh, every morning I go to the ocean and I sit and I become one. How toxic is he? They're the most toxic people.
Okay, I do see what you're saying. And I think the one thing that Caleb said was, if you get too tired, I'll pick you up. And I don't know, like, I don't have experience with little people, but I do know that they do not like to be picked up and they don't like to make me feel like they're a child. So I felt like when he kept saying that, it really bothered me because I said, even not knowing a lot about, people with that condition, I know that they don't like to be made to feel like a child, and picking them up would make them feel like a child. And she
And
even had to tell him in the
she did.
video call, like, I don't particularly like when people pick me up. And it really made me think, like, has he done like any research about, people with this condition, so he would even know that? Because even I know, they don't consider that because it's making them feel like a child and they're an adult. So
Right.
I just hope that he understands her needs and he's open to learning about her condition and what is acceptable and what's not. That's just my main takeaway.
Right.
So let's go to Muskegon, Michigan, and let's talk about Memphis. So Memphis and Hasma. He's from Tunisia. So she's 34 years old. She has two kids. She's a single mom, and she's a nurse practitioner with a master's degree. So the last time we heard someone with a master's degree on the show, I think was, um, what's her name?
I
She
can't
was,
remember.
I can't remember her name, but yes, she had a master's degree. She also had her own medical clinic. And so this is our second master's
Susan?
degree. She was from Michigan as well.
Oh,
She
doesn't matter.
it's losing me right now, but I was so impressed with her education and her drive. And then when she started talking about Husma and how they can't speak the same language and the only words that they really understand together are sexy time, I started seeing red flags, and I thought, this is really something that is going to blow up in her face. And she said, oh, well, we're going to skip getting engaged. We're just going to get married. We love each other so much. He's not like American men. American men can't even text me good morning. And I'm thinking, so your course of action when you can't get a good morning text is to go and marry someone right away without even knowing them. Like, there's a lot of red flags here, but she seems genuine and her mom seems really concerned. And she seems like such a down to earth person. So the idea that she's doing this is really making me wonder if it's about her childhood, because she said being raised by her mom who was on drugs and her dad wasn't in the picture. She feels like the way that she is clinging to men is part of not having a father in her life, and she's seeking that love from a man, and she thinks that's why she's rushing into things. And it just makes me concerned for her.
I mean, let's just call a therapist, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, everybody has that story from their childhood. I don't care who you are, how great your parents were, how well you were raised. We all have something in childhood that broke us because as children, we just didn't have the ability to process what was happening to us. It's almost
Yeah.
as if you're gifted with a life where you grow up and you just get older, that you almost have to look back and process the things that your childhood self could not. She needs to do that. Because the fact that she said, I had to learn to become independent when my marriage fell apart. I had two children, put herself through school as a single mother to get a master's degree to become a nurse practitioner. Keep in mind, a nurse practitioner can write scripts just like a doctor.
Yes.
Hello. So if you are this kind of woman who will have this kind of drive to pick yourself up after a divorce, to become this independent with two children, and you see and you acknowledge that maybe it's something from my childhood why I'm clinging to these relationships. I don't understand why we just don't call the therapist, but no, let's go on an international dating site, fly to Tunisia, marry somebody we don't know. And the funniest thing is she was saying to her friend, like, oh, well, I'm not going to marry him right away. Like, no, like the first week, I'm just going to be with him, and then I'm going to marry him the second week. And then we're going to have our honeymoon the third week. Honey, that's the equivalent of getting married right away. I mean,
Yes.
it makes sense. I don't understand. And listen, I feel for her because she's absolutely right. I am married now, but I remember my single days. They weren't that long ago. I'm 40 years old now. I met my husband when I was 37, and we got married quickly, right down to it. He proposed after 8 months, boom, married, baby, boom. But she's right. Men cannot keep up texting even good morning for a month. They can't. They can't. They can't. Listen, the state of dating is just the absolute hits. There's nothing out here in these streets. I am grateful to be married and by God's grace I stay married a long time. So I can understand the frustration. I also understand the frustration where she says, like, it's harder with American men. I don't want to trash American men, but a lot of them don't have the family values that are really respected and heralded in other societies. I could see why there would be an interest if you are a family-oriented woman and you want someone who prides family, who sees family as a blessing and not family as something that ties you down. You know that you would be maybe attracted to the family cultures in other parts of the world. Let's just say that. But sis, there's a lot of men in America though. You couldn't find one. All you need is one.
Right? I mean, and I'm also worried because he's from Tunisia and we don't know what his religion is, and we know that she's a very free-spirited woman. So we kind of saw this with Brittany and Yazan with the culture changes. But if he is coming to America, I don't feel like that's gonna be as much as an issue than it was with Brittany and Yazan because she was trying to go over to his country and live her life the way she wanted to live her life. So that was something that also caught me. And I was like, well, I'm hoping that the religion part of it isn't going to play a factor in it. But I'm just really hoping that she thinks it through and she listens. Because if you watch the show, everyone has a friend, and that friend is telling them exactly the right thing to say. And everyone, I think Memphis said, I know that I shouldn't be doing this, but I don't care, was what she said on the show. And it's like, at some point, you just have to let people, do what they're going
I
to do.
appreciate that honesty. I appreciate that honesty. And you know, I respect that. You know what's wrong, but I'm doing it anyway. You know, cool. Have at it. Have at it.
We're here for it. I'm excited. This season is just amazing. Oh, Stephanie. Stephanie was the name I could not remember. She was the one with the master's degree. First one was Stephanie. The second one was Memphis. Congratulations to you, Memphis, by the way, on becoming a nurse practitioner. We are congratulating you on your achievements. We are proud of you, and we love to see strong, beautiful Black women in the medical field. That's
Amen.
it for this week's podcast of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. This was episode 1. Episode 2, we are going to meet the rest of the couples, and I am so excited. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you're live tweeting with us every week. I'm George Mossey. This is Marshana Dahlia Spavento, and we will see you guys every Sunday night real soon. Thank you so much.